Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning. Welcome to the Daily Faith Builder. Hope you had a great weekend. Yesterday on Sunday, we dove into 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. We're going to be in there all week long looking at this issue of what does a hopeful community look like. And in this section, Peter really exhorts the church and gives a real clear little tight nugget of what that looks like, things that we should be focusing on, especially in the midst of, let's say, end times, in the midst of tough times, especially. So let me read this for us this morning as we start our week. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. Peter tells us that in the end of all things, he says, is at hand. Therefore, be self-controlled, sober-minded for the sake of your prayers. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Show hospitality to one another without grumbling. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. Whoever speaks, as one who speaks oracles of God. Whoever serves, as one who serves by the strength that God supplies, in order that in everything God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. To him belong glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. So we're going to break down the different pieces of that this week to really answer this question of what does a hopeful community look like, especially in these times of uncertainty and fear. The church should be growing in its hope. It should be this dynamic community of people where hope is growing regardless of the circumstances, the storms, or whatever is happening right on the outside. And Peter gives instruction for this to the church. Listen to this stat. This is amazing, I think. For thousands of years, culture reinvented itself around the rate of every new generation, which is roughly every 20, 30 years. People now experience the same quantity of significant generational events, change, that used to occur over a 30-year period, now every 18 months. Wow. What amazing. That's just from some futurist and other kind of business strategy looking at how things are going. But basically, to summarize, historically, about every generation, society would see big changes take place. But now that time, because of technology and other things, has sped up, and every 18 months we're seeing significant social change of some kind, change and adapt. And that has a huge impact on society, on anxiety and fear and all of these things. So even more so for the church's role during this time, right, to be a hopeful community. I like this terminology of using kind of prophetic funnel, meaning that Jesus said the birth pains, as they increase, you'll see them increase as the end comes. And once we kind of get into this funnel, things will happen quicker. Just as I read, even from a secular standpoint, things are happening quicker. Change is happening quicker. And we see that even all the birth pains, things are happening in the world. They seem to be happening at a quicker rate. And we know at least in the end, they for sure will. And so it's even more important for the church, right, to be this bastion of hopeful community, because this is what the world desperately needs to see. It's what we need, obviously, to strengthen each other in our hope, to encourage each other, obviously waiting and longing, right, for the day of Jesus' return. So I hope you'll join this week. We'll look forward as we dive in and break these passages apart of what does a hopeful community look like. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.